If you're a mom with school-age kids, summer is easy, right? No 6 a.m. alarms, no crazy drop-offs, no rushing around trying to squeeze in 500 things before breakfast. But once that back to school hits, it's chaos. And if you're not careful, all of the healthy self-care routines that you built over the summer kind of get pushed to the back burner. So I sat down and I crafted a back to school plan. Not for the kid, but for me. That will ensure my health stays a priority. And I wanted to share this plan with you so you could avoid slipping into the stress eating, the panic eating, the running on fumes. And that's not what we want for ourselves or for our family. Hi, I'm Ryan. I am a keto coach and a certified advocate through the Metabolic Terrain Institute of Health. And I help men and women suffering from metabolic issues reclaim their health and vitality through lifestyle changes. So this summer for me was a lot more relaxed. My son was home for most of the summer and I didn't have that, the school grind, not many of those early wake ups, the frantic meal planning. And what was even better was my mom was visiting. And so she did a lot of the cooking. So shout out to you, Mom. You're the best. But now that school is starting and my mom has gone back home, the reality has set in, which means I need to dial in on my routines. The ones that keep me steady and energized and healthy and not let the craziness of the daily hustle get in the way. So the 4 big areas we all need to have planned are movement, nutrition, sleep, and stress. So let me walk you through a clear plan for how we can stay on track during this school year. So the first thing on my plan is morning movement. So after I hydrate, I have a simple routine that I follow. It's some stretching followed by a quick walk. So in the late summer, the sun is still up early and I plan to take advantage of that. So I have until the middle of September for early morning walks. And this means if I just wake up 15 minutes earlier, I can squeeze in a short walk. In the fall and the winter, the sun will rise much later. So it's gonna be dark in the morning. So my plan is to hop on my walking pad or do a little trampoline workout inside. So moving in the morning is so important because, well, I sit at a desk most of the day. So starting my day with at least 1,500 steps puts me in a head mindset of action. And honestly, if I don't get those 1,500 steps in, I feel like I'm glued to my chair the whole day. And I noticed that even the smallest bit of momentum leads to more action. I am more productive and it helps me clear my mind and feel ready to tackle the day when I start with a short walk. So if you are waking up tired or anxious or stressed, moving your body, the first thing, will help create that momentum. And we really need that as moms. Plus, it will be the first thing that you do each day to take care of yourself. So next up is nutrition. You want to start with a real breakfast, not just coffee and 2 eggs. I'm talking 4 to 5 eggs, maybe some bacon or sausage. If you need easy grab and go options, hard-boiled eggs are a lifesaver. One of my favorites is a crustless quiche. It's easy to whip up a few eggs, toss in a few seasonings or some veggies, bake it, and then just cut it up into portions for the week. I even spent some time researching a few new recipes to meal prep with eggs. I love eggs. Just in case I get bored of my usual scrambled eggs. I found a recipe for a dairy-free quiche that you can make crustless, egg shakshuka, and an egg curry, if you can believe it. Never even thought of preparing eggs that way. I will link some of the recipes that I found down below in case you want to check them out and mix up your breakfast routine. I lost quite a few pounds this summer, and I think a big part of my success, besides reducing inflammation, was filling up at breakfast. So food was not on my brain all day. Because if I don't, I'm like opening up the cabinets and like thinking about what I can snack on. So when you start your day with protein, you feel fuller. Your cravings stay low and you don't hit that mid-morning crash, and your brain and hormones are fueled for the day. And if you are managing insulin resistance, this is non-negotiable. Eat a protein-rich breakfast. So this is where the school year can trip us up big time. Those afternoons of practices and carpooling and homework, if you don't have a dinner plan ready, stress eating or that fast food drive-through becomes an option that we don't want. So I love to keep it simple. So I keep a list of meals on the fridge that I can easily prepare. And these can be prepped ahead of time or thrown into the oven quickly after work. Because let's get real, if we don't have a plan, you will be staring at that fridge at 6 p.m. asking, what are we even eating tonight? And don't forget that crock pot that you have sitting in the corner of your kitchen. That thing is one of the best inventions for busy working moms, dads. I love the idea of setting it up before work and having dinner ready when it's time to eat. I've been researching some dairy-free options that are delicious. I already make a chuck roast in the Instant Pot. It's a Chipotle barbacoa. I've done a Mississippi pot roast. I've done a pot roast with just carrots and parsnips. Adobo chicken is really great in the slow cooker. It's a super easy recipe if you've never made it. You can even do chicken wings in the slow cooker, and then when you get home, you're going to pop them on a baking sheet at a high temperature in the oven and just crisp them up, and they are tender and delicious. I have to also say that sheet pan dinners are lifesavers. You take your protein and veggies with some seasoning and olive oil and pop them in there. My go-to dish that takes about 5 to 10 minutes to prep is to throw on a lined sheet pan, some sliced kielbasa sausage, some onions and peppers with salt and pepper, garlic, onion powder, a drizzle of olive oil, and pop it in the oven. And then 20 minutes later, dinner is ready. There's minimal effort, and the cleanup is just to crumple up your parchment paper and throw it in the trash. Another big tip is to chop your veggies as soon as you get home from the grocery store. You can stick them in Ziploc bags so they're ready to go. And then when life gets busy, you're not fighting with a cutting board at 6 p.m. So I am big on herbs and supplements. They make a huge difference in how I feel through these tough menopausal times. I won't get into everything that I take, but I will say that keeping track of all the things that I take can be a challenge. And I know I'm not the only one who intends to take their vitamins daily, but sometimes forgets, right? And I don't like pre-portioning them into like that weekly pill case. That just never has worked for me. Instead, I keep a checklist taped inside my cabinet. So every morning when I open up my cabinet, I pull out what's on that list so I don't forget anything. And it's simple and it just works for me. So I can share some recommendations for women in their 40s to consider incorporating in terms of supplements. Herbs that reduce inflammation, things like turmeric and ginger. I have a golden milk tea that I drink daily that is great for digestion and inflammation, and I'm gonna link that video here. A multivitamin. Our soil is depleted in nutrients, and I don't believe we are getting the nutrition that we need from our food. So I feel so much more focused and energized when I take my multivitamin consistently. For stress support, I would say magnesium. We are all deficient in this mineral, and magnesium is important for so many functions in our bodies, but I want to emphasize its role in lowering cortisol and reducing anxiety. So I take magnesium internally, and then at night I spray it on my feet, and it helps with amazing sleep. For more stress support, I love ashwagandha. I keep a tincture bottle on my desk for when I need to kind of calm my anxiety. And listen, some days I nail it. Other days, all my vitamins are still in the cabinet untouched. But that's life. We want progress and not perfection. We want to have a plan so that we can set ourselves up for success. Most of the time we want success, right? And finally is the wind down routine. This is the hardest one for me. Kids always find a way to let you know about a test, a project, some other nonsense in the hours before bed, but not this year. So we have a calendar where quizzes, projects, deadlines are recorded. and we build that out on Sundays. So nighttime surprises, late night store runs, last minute study sessions are going to be dead this year. I want to protect my sleep and keep stress low. So I am planning to dim the lights for the whole family, create a calm atmosphere in the evening, and my personal evening routine is going to include evening supplements, my magnesium spray, applying a castor oil pack, doing a brain dump, praying, reading, listening to a podcast for a few minutes. And yes, I keep a little checklist next to my bed for these things because if I don't have them written down, I'll forget. And honestly, half of my life runs on Post-its stuck to cabinets, nightstands, my desk. But you know what? It works. They remind me of the habits that I want to keep, and they let me end the day on purpose, not just collapsing into the bed, right? So look, I know the back to school time is harder, but if we let chaos run us, our health takes a hit. And I've done it before, skipping meals, stress eating, staying up late, scrolling instead of resting. And guess what? You wake up more stressed, more irritable, way less patient with your family. So when we keep these routines in place, we're gonna feel calmer, sharper, and more like ourselves. So this is your reminder, mom to mom. Don't let the school year push your health to the side. You matter too. And if you're like me, your family feels the difference immediately when you're steady and you're fueled instead of frazzled and running on fumes. If this video helped you, share it with another mom who needs the reminder. If you like to keep track of your healthy habits like I do, I have a guide and journal called Metabolic Mastery. It is going to help you build momentum day by day and keep yourself accountable. We've got this, moms. Back to school does not have to mean back to burnout. Let's keep showing up for ourselves so we can show up better for our family. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.